This probably looks a bit much at the moment, but this is all the planning for my content for the business. 4 weeks in advance, each platform, everything. That probably looks like a lot, but it is the key to success. Like, planning is the foundation of everything that you should do. If you plan out your week, if you plan out your day, if you plan out your workouts, if you plan out your nutrition, it's harder to fail. It is harder. Are you someone who struggles with planning? If you do, reply plan to this story and I'll drop you a completely free meal plan that will help you get ahead of the game. Should you eat breakfast, and how important is meal timing as a whole? Just trying to change up the settings here a little bit on this course. So when it comes to it, let me answer the first question. So should you eat breakfast? Well, the answer is it depends. Are you someone who enjoys breakfast, who actually wants it? That's the first question, because you'll often hear that, is breakfast the most important meal of the day? That is false. You should eat breakfast if eating a breakfast works for you and your schedule. Some people do not like eating breakfast. They like fasting till lunchtime, and that is perfectly fine. There is honestly no issues with that. Look at it this way. If you're looking to lose fat and you're not particularly hungry in the morning, I mean, that's generally what I'm like. I get up at 5 a.m. and I don't eat until around probably 8ish a.m, maybe 8:30. So there's probably 3 hours or so of fasting when I get up in the morning. Why? Well, I'm not tempted to eat chocolate cake and dairy milks and Krispy Kreme donuts at 6 in the morning. It's just not on my radar. I can get up, get to work and get some stuff done and be productive and not need to think about food. I just get up, I get hydrated and I get started with my day. So then that works for me in my schedule. But you have to ask, well, what works for you in your schedule? If you don't like eating breakfast till 12, if you don't like eating until 11, 12 a.m, that's cool. And you're busy in the morning, you get into work or whatever, the kids to deal with, that's perfectly fine. And if it's the same, if you don't like eating at night, but that's not the majority, then it's cool. When it comes to meal timing as a whole, it is far more important that you actually find a structure that works for you and your schedule than trying to fit into specifics that don't work for you. If you're someone, let's look at the typical example. Myself falls into this as well. I am most likely to go off plan or to be tempted by sweet things like chocolate and cakes and biscuits and whatever in the evening time. So then does it not make more sense to actually leave a decent portion of my calories for the evening time when I'm more likely to want them? 100%. So if you do not feel like you need a breakfast, you don't want a breakfast, and you want to space your meals towards more of the evening, that's perfectly fine. You have to find what works for you. And again, just communicating that with myself and the coaches is essential to keep you on track. Now, I have been very lean a few times in my life, and I have ate differently every single time. The first time, I barely ate anything until lunch. I would have 2 very, very light meals. I had like an egg white omelette and then a chicken salad in the morning, and then I would have my lunch. The second time, I actually fasted from 4 p.m. until 10 p.m. because I needed to get work done. I was still in my 9 to 5 and I had my business on the side. Now, I am like 4 weeks out from a photo shoot, 3 weeks out from a photo shoot just now, and my eating is I do a little bit of fasting in the morning. I eat the vast majority of my calories in the middle of the day, and then again I kind of finish eating around 7 p.m. at night. So it doesn't matter how you do it, you have to map it to your needs, your likes, and your schedule. That's what's the most important thing about meal planning and meal timing than anything else. Yes, you can integrate some carbs around the workouts and stuff, but for most, that's not going to be applicable. So focus on creating a plan that you can stick to and enjoy at times that work for you. So I've picked up 2 new supplements. I have L-carnitine, which is helping with fat burning, or helps improve energy burning and the utilization of fats, and I have something called Core Hard. This has an ingredient in it called ashwagandha, KSM 66. Really good for reducing cortisol, really good for helping with fat loss and stress levels. Core Hard, this is the first time I paid £110 for this last year to get it shipped to the UK. It was $35 today. If you want the link, just drop me it across. Just shoot me a message and I can drop you it across. I have picked these two up to accelerate the fat burning process with 4 weeks to go until my shoot. Now, these have utility. Very small utility, 5-10%. When you're pushing the boundaries, that adds up. But if you have an A+ in your supplements and a fucking C- in your training and nutrition, you're wasting your time. What is your favourite supplement of all time? Reply or comment below and let me know. Oh. That wasn't a good start to the video. 20 minutes of running. High intensity, 9.5 out of 10. Or 9.5 speed on the treadmill, should I say. It is warm. I've done legs already today. I've already hit like 15,000 steps as well. This is when it starts to get tough. This is when it starts to get really hard. I can feel the energy draining from you as we speak. But that's what it takes. It is a big push. Getting sub 10% body fat is not fun, but it's worth it. So you can see I am sweating like a pig. But 3 or so weeks to go, maybe 4 until the shoot. I haven't even worked it out. I think it's 4. And we kick on regardless. This is a secret weapon of mine when it comes to sweet tooths. I am actually doing a refeed today. This is oats, but I have mixed in some unsweetened cocoa powder and some like stevia powder, like some sweetener, whatever it's called, kind of calorie-free sweetener basically. Really good, ideal. I am having it for breakfast. It's like 8 o'clock. This is my first meal of the day, along with a shake, which is ice, skimmed milk, and protein powder. And again, I ends up with a really big kind of smoothie, which is excellent for keeping you satiated if you are really hungry. So, a couple of key tips from me there to stay full and stay on track when you are in the fat loss phase. Weighed in at 68.9 this morning. That is my lowest weigh-in to date, sitting around 12 kilograms off. I have a little bit of body fat still to lose, but pushing to my lowest weigh-ins yet. Refeed day today, so I'm eating more food than normal, upping the carbohydrates to give me some energy back, which is good. No complaints from me. And then I am going to train some chest and tries today as well. And that is how my day is looking, and make sure I hit an hour of cardio also. So plenty on, plenty to hit, but it's time to get to work. A few weeks to go. For those of you who are struggling to put together a plan or understand what food you need to eat, what to eat, how much and when, reply book to this story and I'll drop you a completely free copy of my brand new fat loss cookbook with 20 mouth-watering, fat-melting recipes. If you struggle with fat loss, this is what you need to do. Number 1, you need to create a clear strategy or plan when it comes to nutrition. This could be following a meal plan, or it could be through calories. Number 2, follow a fucking workout plan. Stop bouncing around the gym, floating about, hoping that something happens. Go in with intention,
to focus and go in with a plan, as always. And number 3, stop being a lazy bastard and get yourself out a walk. If you're not losing fat, your activity is too low. Simple. Up your steps by 20%. Want me to help strip 10 to 12 kilos of body fat off you? Get the best shape of your life? Just DM me the words get fat and I'll help you lose fat forever.
Just finished 40 minutes on the treadmill. I am sweating a bit here. While I was doing something that I had to do and consuming something that I had to watch. It was an educational webinar for reference, but this is how you hack your time. You're probably busy. You're probably struggling to get your steps in, your activity up. Think about ways that you can create 10-15 minute increments in your day to get that movement in. Are you going to walk in your lunch break? Are you walking when you're on a phone call? If you're not, start using these opportunities, because you don't need to be sat at a desk or static, and for the most part, especially if you're working from home. Think about ways of breaking your day up into 3 to 4, 10 to 15 minute walks. This will skyrocket your overall activity and help you burn more calories and lose fat. And it will also keep you productive and keep your performance on top of things if you're someone who's looking to optimise that part of your life. How have I helped over 400 9-to-5ers get in the best shape of their life? Well, I certainly didn't always look the way I do now, and it's taken me almost 10 years of training to get to this point. The reason I started training was because I was small, I was insecure, I was unfit, I was unhealthy. I had a pot belly, so I was high in body fat, and I had very skinny arms. I was skinny fat. Now, if anyone knows what that is or has been there, it is not a good look. I was bullied a lot, I had a lot of self-confidence issues, I used to look at the floor when I was in job interviews and things like that. That's why I started going to the gym. I wanted a change. I wanted to actually start changing my physique, getting a bit of confidence and feeling good about myself. Now, I started the gym as a, let's see what happens. Just no plan, no structure, just let me go and see what happens. Started Googling online, doing loads of searches, going through bodybuilding magazines and YouTube channels, and I devoted literally hours of my days for 4, 5, 6 years to learning and understanding nutrition and training. Now, the first 3 to 4 years of that, I spent going absolutely nowhere. Now, I'm in my home gym right now at the moment, actually, and I spent a lot of wasted time here. Not this gym specifically, this is only really new, but I spent a lot of time in the gym doing the wrong things at the wrong times and the wrong orders with no structure and no plan. And nutrition. I used to eat fish and a rice cake. Don't know if you've seen that video, but I used to eat plain chicken, plain rice cakes, fish, really boring, bland food. Honestly, I do not know how I managed to stick to it. I suffered for literally years. Now, after 4 years, I got a coach. I hired a coach, a Canadian guy. I bought one of his programs. I didn't work with him personally, but I bought one of his more in-depth programs, and I made more progress in 4 months than I had done in 4 years, like that. Why? Because I had a focused plan. I had an outcome that I was working towards. I had key structures in place, my training program, my nutrition, they all tied into one another, rather than it just being a bit of this here, a bit of that there. This may be you right now. You're bouncing around the machines. You're not really sure what to do. You're training a couple of days, but you're not really making much progress or getting much traction. And when it comes to nutrition, well, who knows? There's so many things out there. There's so many different sources, so many different ways. Now, when it comes to nutrition, you can go a million ways, but what we preach is flexible dieting, AMF. So again, this has really changed my life, and the reason that I do what I do now and help people, help 9-to-5ers lose fat, who are time poor, who do have families, who've got kids to look after, the reason I do that is because I know for a fact how much the gym has changed my life, and the biggest pieces of feedback that we get are not that someone lost fat or that they feel better about themselves, but they have completely and utterly changed life. They feel great. They're going to live longer for their children. They're an example to their children. They're a role model to themselves, their partner, and everyone around them. That is the powerful messages that keep me going and keep us going at AMF, and it's why we do what we do. So If you're stuck, if you're struggling, that is my story, why we got started and why I keep pushing. And day in, day out, we will continue to try and help more people. So if you need help, if you are that person, then all you have to do is reply "Get Fit" to this story, and I'll send you details in our Fat Loss Forever program, which is going to show you how to get rid of all the stubborn belly fat in just 4 hours a week without any boring diets or bland foods. We do not believe in boring diets, we do not believe in bland foods, and we certainly do not believe in 2-hour workouts. 4 hours a week, including your meal prep, is all we need. If you can commit that and you're stuck and you're struggling, reply "Get Fit" and let's get to work.
How do you make fat loss easy? Simple. All you need is a plan. The reason people fail, the reason people get stuck, is because they get stressed, they get overwhelmed, and they can't make good choices. Making fat loss easy for your week starts right now, starts today. If you don't have your food shop, if you don't have a meal prep done, then you're on the back foot. Because what happens when Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday hits and you're stressed and you're then trying to play catch up for your week? You've had a bad day, you've been stuck in traffic, whatever's happening. So if you don't know where to go from here, if you want to make fat loss easy this week, get yourself to the shop with a shopping list in hand and a list of recipes and ingredients that you're going to put into place this week. Now, your meal prep shouldn't be a slog. It should take 45 to 60 minutes to prep some lunches and probably some evening meals. That's it. Get your snacks ready, get everything good to go. If you don't know where to start with that, if you don't know how to start with that, just reply "plan" to this story and I'll drop you a completely free meal plan to get you started on the right foot for this week. You can make fat loss easy if you plan and if you take action at the times you have a bit of spare time, like today. So if you need some help, reply "plan" and I'll drop you across.